Good? You give me a big signal when I can go. 2, 1, all right. If you are in the Web3 space, you have to know that guy. So the one who are not laughing obviously don't know him. This guy is called Hemen. Hemen, can you show yourself? He's a very dear friend and also housemate. And he also is the proud founder of a company called Doprax. Doprax is basically a competitor of AWS. And as you might understand, he's a kill-ass developer, like a senior developer, very experienced. And 2 months ago, we were having a moment in the garden talking about Web3. Web3 who wants to learn, who also wants to work in the Web3 environment. So we started to meet here and there. We started to regularly talk about Web3. What would it be a community? We set up some social networks. We built a website. We organized the first event a few weeks ago. It was cool, like in this setup as well. Some people showed up, so we decided to continue. We set up a Discord server. And now we are 40 here, and it escalated very quickly. And now we were just talking about, at first, that's some casual dinner, and now we have like kind of a start of a community. I think you're satisfied still. We're in. That's the way. Yeah. Okay. So it's getting started. So what we're doing here is actually not so surprising, because we are in the middle of something that you all guys know about. That's why you're here today. I'm just coming through some basics because I know that everyone in the crowd here is not so deep into Web3 for now. So just so that we just agree on that, a revolution is happening. Web 1, emails, all right. Web 2, we understood how it went with the apps that we know today. We're going to a much more decentralized, transparent, secure world with Web3. And this is going to sneak in every louder, like this, right? And it's going to sneak in every industry, every use case possible will be, at some point, probably decentralized and blockchain technology based. Just a few numbers here. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, Bitcoin didn't exist. And since it's been created, now we have, I don't know if you know that number, does it work? It works on your eyes, but maybe not here. We have nearly 10,000 blockchains out there, different blockchains, different coins that exist that cover different use cases. This is not only about Bitcoin or Ethereum, if you know some names, it is much bigger than that. Investments is being put in today, or yeah, I think it's today. A game company just invested $110 million in some metaverse business development. It's going fast, the ecosystem is mature, and we're not telling a word about this. You guys are probably, most of you guys are, raise hands please, digital nomads here. Who consider themselves as digital nomads? Okay, half of the room at least. Sorry?
Who is local?
Sorry, who is local? I just talked with 1, 2, 3. You consider yourself local? No. Yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Eres canario, claro, amigo. Entonces, vamos. En español es mejor, ¿no? Okay, so the population of digital nomads grew 300% just in 21. Now the numbers are not even updated, but they're bigger. And this is just for the US, 15 million. And a lot of you guys are entrepreneurs. A third of you guys own their own business and like to be into some new things. Here, did you know, guys, that Nomad List? Yeah. If you don't, just go to nomadlist.com. It's cool. You have a ranking of the best place to be as a nomad for out of different criteria. Tenerife is number 4 in Europe, and it's rising. It's being qualified as rising for ages now. It's cool. You can surf. People are literally surfing as I'm speaking at the moment. So this is a good timing both for the maturity of the blockchain environment, and this is also a good place to be in as well. So this is why we think that Tenerife can be an epicenter of Web3 entrepreneurship in the coming years. So this is what we're building. We're building a DAO now. We switched from 2 people drinking a beer on a garden to this. We have big plans. And for now, the thing that the way we organize ourselves is kind of simple. We just scout for projects that need us to give this speech and give the skills to those companies. We solve the problems, we design, we write, we code. We learn and grow together, we connect and spread the world. And in the end, we have a DAO that's supposed to, the system that we're building is a fair DAO that's rewarding every member along the way. The next milestone, the big milestone, this is getting to the end of WIM, and then we slide to the content, right? To DeFi going bankless. The next milestone that we have is a big event in November. It's called WIMeet, and this is related to those projects. This is our big kickstart to have some projects coming in the network. So we rely on this event. It's a 2 days. Do you see? Can you see? It's a 2 days boot camp on the 18th and 19th of November, where we expect 80 makers to come, and getting done, if you want to join, is to fill in a form. Then, in this form, you will have to give your wallet address. If you don't have one, just put your email address. Then we will drop you an NFT that's called a kudo. And thanks to this kudo, you will be able to access a Discord. And then here we go, you're part of the DAO officially. All right? Thank you very much. That's it for WIM. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the content that's coming after, it's about DeFi, decentralized finance. Mattia is going to come on stage first. Yeah? No, I guess so. While you are scanning the code or whatever. Big up for Mattia while we are starting the slides.
Sometimes happen. But if you already know the concepts I'm going to explain, you just have to wait for 20 minutes, because after me it's going to come some deep dive into DeFi stuff. So you wanna be, well, maybe just rest a bit your brains, and then you are rested for the next talks. Okay, so.
Excuse me, can we access the presentation later?
Yeah, sure. We can make it accessible. Yeah, so a question first. What's the purpose of money?
Get them bitches.
One at a time. Raise your hand. Okay. Exchange value? Make more money. So like, yeah, so like store of value growing.
Use your money,
yeah. Yeah, okay. Store of value. So this is what happened after 2013. Like, this is a woman in a bank actually ripping off money because they didn't have any more, like not even one of those things that were like initially the purpose of money. And the reason why I'm talking about Venezuela is because I believe, and I'm not the only one, that a lot of these came, I can do that, I think. No, I can't. I can't. But yeah, so the reason is that like centralization, I believe, brought to the thing that we've just seen, brought to like bad politics, brought to corruption, brought to hyperinflation, and eventually brought to people not even be able to going into supermarket and buying stuff. So this process of centralization started in our modern democracies, because many times it's not clear what's happening. And I'll talk a bit about the natural resources curse, which is a problem very known into the political sciences field. And basically, it's funny because it's not funny for them, but it's funny because some countries are gifted by having like a lot of natural resources, especially oil or carbon fossils in general. And they end up being like actually the poorest country, the most corrupted countries in the world with non-functioning governments. And this is exactly what happened also to Venezuela. And Venezuela is not just a country with some natural resources, it's actually the country with the most oil reserves in all of the world. So like they have a lot of oil, a lot. In the world are unbanked. Unbanked, it means that they don't have any kind of financial services. They don't even have a card to make like transactions. It's already like luck for them if they have some cash money that some cash that they can use to buy stuff. It's not only unbanked. Unbanked is just a part, which is 1.7 billion. We are around 8 billion, so it's like 20% of the population almost, which is a lot. But there are also a lot of underbanked, which are a bit more under the radar. And unbanked, they don't have most of financial services. So basically, they cannot contract debt and they cannot make credit. So basically, they have only the basic stuff, transactions, fundamentally. And then there are normal people. I say, yeah, what's wrong with normal people? They can use, like, they can have debt, they can make credit and whatever. Yeah, but most of the people, they don't, but still she needs more money to start the project. So she goes to a bank. She has high hopes, high expectations. She worked a lot on her business plan. She goes to the bank, say, look, like in 3 to 5 years, I'm gonna be profitable and I'm gonna give you 25% ROI. Unfortunately, Julia doesn't have a strong financial history, apart having some money in the bank. She doesn't have any property. She has a short work history and she has like an average income from her job. What will the bank answer? Depends from the bank, depends from the country, but this is something that could happen. The bank say, oh, okay, well, I'm not giving you a loan, but I'll raise your credit limit to $500,000 with a cost of borrowing on 24%. So this for the bank is a good deal. What could happen with decentralized finance and with open access to finance? We can connect entrepreneurs with small investors, and not only small investors, in a very leaner, faster, and cheaper way. Probably already a lot of you know about it. I mean, there are already crowdfundings. Crowdfundings are okay. They are a big innovation, but there is a lot of paperwork to do, and it's hard to manage all of those stakeholders. So Julia, instead of going to the bank, could launch a token, for example, representing her projects. And investors can buy the token through private sale, because she's not at the point of an ICO or of listing the token, with the hope that the investors, of course, maybe even building a DAO, some community where people can collaborate and actually see what's happening in the project and help the project grow. And then once the project is built and it's running and it's profitable, they can resell the token. Central banks and governments own the people. Not own the people, but the financial fate of the people. With a certain point could be own the people, but I didn't want to sound so extremist. So the financial fate of the people, and the point is that they don't have any type of accountancy. Like, can you have contact with a central bank? Can you have contact with a government? Is government accountable before like new elections? And even with new elections, like the government often is not the direct people you elect. Like, for example, in Italy, the government is decided by the parliament. So you don't have any kind of control and any kind of accountability on the government. Central banks, they decide the target inflation rate. They have the power to print or issue new money, and they can manipulate the rates of interest, driving the economy into growth and contracting cycle. That's a lot that they can do. Basically, they can also decide when are we making. They do it when the most of them, or the most of the people that participates actually to the decision to the DeFi platform or the DAO, depends how you want to call it, thinks that it's a good, they believe it's a good thing. There are even other protocols where they can literally change from an inflationary model to a deflationary model. And this is probably what we are going to see with the Ethereum merge, right? Like so far it has been like, let's say inflationary protocol. So it basically relies on larger and larger adoption in order to make the price also grow. More trades, more adoptions. It means like, okay, people are buying and holding, and then the price rise. But it could switch to a deflationary model when you don't create new Ethereum, or anyway, you create new, but the one you burn or the one you stake or whatever, like 3% for a card swipe, 2-day settlement for a stock transaction, very complicated and slow processes, a lot of papers to get a loan. I think all of you know already this stuff. Slow transfer of funds and spread, which is something we're going to talk about later. This is more about the trading part.
Stock exchange is fucking closed the weekend.
Yeah, stock exchange is closed in the weekend. What? Yeah. Smart contracts. Well, in DeFi, there is no such a thing like a bank or a stock exchange validating the transactions. Transactions are validated through smart contracts. They're embedded in a thing like there is nobody saying, okay, this transaction can go through. It's in the protocol. People don't need to provide their identity before executing a transaction. If you go on centralized exchanges, yes, but on the centralized exchanges, no way. Yeah, let's not get to the, this is interesting actually, that there is a lot of like, it's controversial, the fact that you don't have to provide identity. There are some bad use cases and some good use cases. We can talk about it maybe another time. Lack of interoperability. Traditional finance systems are siloed. They are closed systems. It's not possible to build on them. It's really hard to integrate products even from the same bank. Sometimes products that are just not, that they don't communicate, or anyway they have so many bugs, they become like, it becomes really hard for the user to use them like properly. And given the complexity and the non-homogeneity of these applications, often they are slow and full of bugs. On the other side, we have like Lego blocks, right? Like DeFi, that's what it is. Like you basically build it up like if it were some Lego blocks. You write protocols in order for them to be easy to adopt by other DeFi. Or for example, you can create a fork and just duplicate a whole project and then start building from there. And all code, this is another thing, like all the code is open to be reviewed by the people. Opacity. Banking systems are closed to public scrutiny. Okay, now we switch to the fundamentals of DeFi. There are three main concepts that I would like to address, which are some of the things that makes DeFi possible. One, it's liquidity pools. The other is automated market makers. And the third one is over-collateralized loans. I would say this is like, I don't know if to say less important, but for sure liquidity pools and automatic market makers, which I will call LP and AMM because it's too long, are the bare bones. So in order to understand liquidity pools, let's have a quick look to how traditional trading on stock exchanges or forex exchanges works. So what is the spread? Like here, some of you may be already familiar with the thing. This is interactive brokers. So here, let's say we want to sell euro and buy dollars. So this is actually what's happening. There is literally an order book where people insert orders, and then the orders get executed once the bid and the ask, like the sell part, the selling part and the buying part, they agree on the same price. So there needs to be always like three parties involved. There needs to be a buyer, there needs to be a seller, there needs to be the trading platform, the middleman. This is what a liquidity pool look like instead. Liquidity pool, you can imagine it actually as a pool where you pour in like at least two different tokens and take your liquidity out. Pros and cons of liquidity pools. Well, they are more efficient and the transaction happen at real-time market prices of the liquidity pool, of course. Allow people to provide liquidity and to receive incentives for that, which is something like non-existing into normal trading platforms. And uses publicly viewable smart contracts to keep security, to keep it safe. Basically, people can see what's going on in the liquidity pool, how it is built, what is the formula that makes it work. On the other side, the pools could be under the control of a small group. That's something that happened in the past. That depends also from the reliability of the platform, how they decided to make the tokenomics work. The risk of hacking and exploits, if the security protocols are not really safe, it's real. It's also something that happened. Just remember that DeFi is something new. It's around since 5 that the trading platform would take for making these kind of swaps. And allow user to perform transaction with reduced gas fees. This is more for relative to blockchain and DeFi itself. It's not comparable with centralized finance. The slippage, on the other side, the slippage is a real thing, and that happened when a liquidity pool is small, for example, compared to the amount of tokens I'm either providing, either taking out, and that could mean that the price of the tokens change a lot while I'm doing the operation, the transaction. This happened though only with small liquidity pools. What are over-collateralized loans? Yeah, let's make it very easy. So decentralized finance is decentralized by design. That means that you can take a loan without nobody having your identity. Well, yeah. Use them as store of value. You believe that in the long term, Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to raise in value. So if you sell them to get money, right? You don't hold them. You don't have them anymore. They're not your assets. And if they rise in price, you don't have them, and you have to buy them back at a higher price. But with over-collateralized loan, you can lock your Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you can take out, for example, stable coins, and you can use stable coins to buy your normal stuff. And then when you get your other income, your other, like, how do you say it? Well, they pay you. You just get the money back and you unlock your Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can do many other stuff, but this is one of the most common things you can do. Okay, so what all of these have to do with Venezuela financial crisis? Well, I guess we run through many things and you have already some ideas. That would take a lot of time to explore, but just start printing money like crazy and create like super hyperinflation that just makes people unable to buy anything, unable to live. Third, the transparency of DeFi would prevent corruption, or if it wouldn't prevent corruption, at least like the corrupted people, that could be more easily discovered and addressed properly. Thank you, makers. Questions? Something like, how many of you already knew everything?
I have a question.
Yeah?
How could the government... my question is, how could the government intervene in such a system of money to prepare it from work?
Again, sorry.
So this is a decentralized system.
Centralized finance application that you want to fuck up. Of course, you will lose the money once you fuck the applications, but you also fuck the application up. So that's what you could do. You just print money, you buy the tokens. If the protocol says 1 token equal 1 vote, then you have the majority of the vote, and you can decide whatever you want if you're a government. That's one way.
I'm not interested in fucking it up.
No. It's a good question. It's a good question. Like, we should build stuff which is resilient to governments or other entities or other people to try to destroy them. We should literally think about that. Yeah. Well, you could also hire a super group of hackers that just... Or they just make it illegal. Yeah, but well, you make it illegal, I just go to another country. Should be like all of the governments of the world that decides that, okay, like decentralized finance applications are illegal all over the world. They can, they don't get... Questions? Thing that you want to say? You want to scream? No, okay. Then the next speech will be, are we connected?
Yes, we are.
We are connected. Okay, so then the next speech, I'll introduce him briefly. Andrea Silvi, he is the CTO of HUDI, which is a decentralized finance application and much more. But he will explain to you about this. Yeah. It's very exciting because it could be like another revolution in the management of data, but I don't want to spoiler anything else. So I'll leave it to him, and you have to connect it here. He will project the slides.
You just have to connect the sound of this audio so that when he speaks, people hear you from here to their Bluetooth.
Okay. And you want to connect mine, or you can log.
Yeah. understand what I'm talking about. I'm sorry to not be there and having a good break with you guys. I'm just waiting around for the end of the break. So guys, hi everyone, I'm Andrea Silvi. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Human Data Income. And in Human Data Income, we are building the first universal basic income based on user data. So today I would like you to introduce the data industry and then understand how can it be innovated through the using of peer-to-peer technology and some auto-schema mindset. Most of you will probably know something about data giants, how the internet business model works, and how they are exploiting this data to extract profit, a big profit. Big data companies have now money and data to run businesses with their database records, mostly in combination with the attention and with the ad networks. Okay. Or username. And all the data it needs. Okay, it attached to that unique identifier, all the data that it needs. All those data could be obviously potentially interesting for many other websites, but those data are kept locked in the website database. Obviously, till a data breach happen. What is there a question? No. Okay, I seen some. Okay, something. Okay, so right now, what we were used was sold for targeting and marketing purposes. Okay, and we redistributed a lot of credit to users. We also provided a personalized offer feed where user can monetize by using easy task or surveys. Okay, so we introduced something that is called task per cash. Okay. We then focus on we then focus to create a self-service business area. Okay, so we had a lot of users, and we introduced a self-service business area where businesses can provide their data or buy new user data. Okay. In the meantime, we launched also an utility token, an SC20 token, to support the user monetization. So basically, users were able to directly withdraw using crypto. Okay, so the credit that they accumulated could be converted directly in a crypto. But to reach the state month passed because we were struggling with our wonderful lawyers, okay, to create the perfect privacy policy and to be compliant with AML, imposing a full KYC to all our users. Okay, it was a pain, guys. It was a pain. But it worked. Okay, the funny thing, it worked. We scaled our cloud resources and we grew to 250,000 platform users, a lot of followers, and a lot of crypto investors. Okay, but now, okay, we have a lot of experience accumulated. Okay, and in this year, obviously, we tried a lot of things. Okay, and right now we believe that there is something that can surpass the blockchain paradigm. Okay, and to surpass the blockchain paradigm, we need to convert the Web3, okay, in something that could be unlabeled. Okay, we labeled Web3, but it's something that could not be really labeled because it is really internet. Okay, it is an internet where every nodes contribute to the network. Okay, by exploiting obviously fully the peer-to-peer technologies. And right now, okay, in September 2022, so during this month, maybe the next month, we are near to launch the first data storage protocol, okay, based on the public-private key schema, using a combination of EPFS and EPNS that could power, I think, a new, totally new web. This web, in fact, is referring to the previous naming, okay? The WebX, in fact, is a dynamic web pages served by centralized or decentralized nodes with a truly decentralized storage, hosted by every peer in the network. This is the real difference with deploy this data using a less secure tier, maybe using a plane or using some encryption model different. Obviously, there is no public connection to your wallet address. It totally decoupled with the blockchain structure that you have right now. So you right now maybe you think that everything should be stored inside they will have a documentation and they will be able to interact directly with the user data wallet in a peer-to-peer paradigm. So the DataX basically allows the data providers, because we introduce the stakeholders that in the past for maybe the advertising world are called the demand-side platform, the DSP, because in advertising there is the DSP and the SSP, okay? But right now we changed the name in data providers, because the DataX will allow the data providers to push data in the user data wallet, and then a data buyer can read them, and everything will be with an explicit authorization, obviously, with the user, by the user. You have a question? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, just one question. Is it a separated wallet that I have on my browser besides MetaMask, or do you plan to integrate it into an existing wallet?
Okay, let me clarify one thing. The Trust Wallet is not a wallet, okay? It's a management, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or similar, are not real wallet. The trust wallet only store your private key. Then this private key is not a wallet. Translated in a public key and derived with a wallet address. That wallet address is something that it is identified in the blockchain. If you read in the ledger, because the blockchain have ledger, okay, the storage part, and then they have code, okay, smart contract and something like that. It is like a classic program, okay. They have storage and they have code. So basically, your trust wallet is not a wallet. They just manage your private key. In our DataX protocol interplanetary data wallet, you just have to, you can continue to use trust wallet, but trust wallet, the magic thing is that it can render your ERC20, BAC20, or NFT, ERC721, or something like that, because it knows how to read the blockchain. In the future, if Trust Wallet can read the interplanetary data wallet, that is something totally decoupled with the blockchain, totally different, okay, it can show your data. But right now, you just have to connect. You can see what is inside your data wallet. You can change the data, you can edit. And the cool thing that is that this data wallet is a shared layer between all the websites. In fact, the protocol by design, okay, incentivizes the If it's not clear, just ask me.
Thank you.
Okay. So for me, is everything. I hope that now you connect all the points in this jungle.
If anyone has questions, I can take it and repeat it clearly here.
Sorry, guys, you need to forward the question. Yeah.
So just a quick one. I think, what is it? The value of an email address out there today is what? Is 80 euros?
It could be, yeah, ask Andrea.
Today it's 80 euros. With the walls coming down in between those silos that you were presenting, how much would be worth the data?
If your website and you push data inside the interplanetary data wallet of one user, okay, or maybe 1 million of users, if their mail, or not only the mail, because the mail is cool, guys, okay, but there are a lot of more, a lot of cool things to mine from the user, and I'm referring to the targeting related data, okay, targeting. If you are, I don't know if you are familiar with the Fledge protocol and the cool keyless-word that will come in 2024 maybe. The Chrome is introduced, Chrome, okay, and also all the browser standards are removing the cookie usage, okay, or are restricting the cookie usage. This problem, okay, will represent a real change in the advertising world. And the advertising world is powered by data. Okay, these data that are basically targeting data. Okay, I don't want to know who you are, but I would like to know what you buy. Okay, I don't know. I cannot know your name. You can be what you want, but I want to know what you buy, what could be interesting to you to be monetized later. So this targeting data, okay, and then also email will be regulated as pricing with a bid-ask model, because if the user push well data, okay, and then there will be a lot of data buyers, then the data buyers using obviously a referral system inside the interplanetary data wallet will incentivize the data provider to put good data, okay. And in the meantime, he can ask to the user and push to the user an optional reward. Everything is powered by this utility token that is the HUDI utility token. And this incentivized model will tend to be auto-regulated, okay?
Grazie.
Thank you, guys.
Grazie mille. Do you want to conclude? Say goodbye.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I'll make. So actually, while we were having the pause, we let
minutes or so. So I think we own them like a lot of beers, which probably we can offer you the next time you come visit, maybe October or November. Yeah. And I didn't tell it.
If you have an Airbnb, it is okay for me, eh?
If it's
if you have an Airbnb, okay.
Yeah.
I can come, okay. For free, Mattia.
Yeah, we can find it out. And I didn't say it before, but I work for HUDI in the marketing, UX copywriting, and other stuff, marketing related. And yeah, so well, I'm very excited about the technology. Even though I talked about DeFi, it's always cool to have already a foot in what's coming next. And this is not in opposition with decentralized finance. It's just some other applications that could be complementary to what we call now Web3, even more peer-to-peer, even more decentralized. So thank you, Andrea. Thank you a lot, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Next, this is a question for you guys. We have talked a lot. There is a lot of content here, and we want you to be like enjoying this moment as much as you want. Do you prefer hand-raised networking, like we can just sit around the table, have some beers, whatever? And we also have some great content that has been prepared by Steve, that's over there, that has his own company being built for a while. He has prepared slides as well. But there is no shame in saying if you don't want to hear that and you prefer taking a breath, it's also understandable. So raised hands, who prefers networking and just chilling outside? Okay, so half of the room. Pitch for you. Can you make it punchy and short? Yeah? Let's go, Steve!
We'll make it punchy and short. 10 minutes, I promise. So, tonight's night is about DeFi.
The mic. Live stream.
I was going to try to make it short, and now it's getting sexy. Okay, so tonight's night, DeFi, decentralized finance, right? I work in DeFi. What do? Well, what you might call a product owner, product manager, jefe de producto, head of product. Specifically tonight, I'm going to tell you about a product that I am actually right now fundraising for. I'm not fundraising from you guys though. Don't worry, I'm not asking you money.
Does it make money or does it take money?
Great question. Does it make money or does it take money? Well, it's DeFi. Who likes to make money with DeFi here? Woohoo! Who likes to lose money with DeFi? Well, the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of opportunity to make money with DeFi. There's a lot of risky stuff with DeFi as well. Specifically with that branch of DeFi that I'm going to tell you about tonight. So this is me. I've been in high tech for a long time. I built products used by millions of people worldwide. And I built organizations that oversee products used by millions of people worldwide. You can find me on LinkedIn with that name, Steve Mariani. And specifically, I'm going to tell you about perpetual futures. DeFi, it's a pretty big field. There's lots of ways to make money or lose money in DeFi, right? For example, who's playing in DeFi among us? Anyone? Yeah. What do you play with? What do you do in DeFi?
Like osmosis now.
No, specifically, like you do yield farming, staking.
Yeah, everything. Yield farming, staking.
Yield farming, staking, borrowing, lending, right? There's a variety of different ways of doing it. Perpetual futures is one of them. It's in the world of what we call derivatives. What's a derivative? Does anybody know what's a derivative? Yes? What is a derivative? Titi? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Don't give me like this.
Exactly! No worries. A derivative is essentially something that tracks the price movement of an asset, essentially. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what perpetual futures are in the world of crypto, what the advantages are, my specific product, and the reason why I want to tell you about this product is because I want us, WIMDAO, to make this product, okay? Because this is how I made Infinix. I just forked some protocol out there, slapped a UI on it, and went fundraising for 3 million, hopefully. Do it in the United States. Unless you have a VPN, you'll be blocked. Anyway, why is perpetual future hot? Because it's the growing and dominant asset or tool, financial instruments. Right now in this market, this crypto market is what? A bull, a bear, right? It's moving sideways. This financial instrument, perpetual futures in general, is the dominant. 93% and more of volume in crypto right now goes through a perpetual future protocol. 93%? 93% of volume is perpetual futures. Indeed. So, WIMDAO, what do you think? Should we build this or not? What Synthetics protocol does, meaning you can virtually tokenize any asset, even if it's not a price movement. For example, rainfall, the amount of rainfall in a particular region of the planet, Tenerife. Okay, it's fairly inconsequential. But if we talk about North Africa, where people depend on the rainfall, right? That means essentially you can virtually tokenize the amount of rainfall and do, spread betting. Perpetual futures over that. Transform that into a market. That which is not yet tokenized can be virtually tokenized through perpetual futures. So, my product, what is it? It's called Infinix. It's both a protocol. What's a protocol? Yes, agreement, yes. A protocol is code. Liquidation risk. So your risk goes higher. If the signal it's not there during the weekend, what happens to me? I get fucked and I don't know. And that could lead to protocol instability. So we created this protocol that we're partners with API 3 for consistent data signals for non-crypto assets, along with a novel implementation of the funding function, which I won't get into it, but it's a cool way of reducing the risk even more. And that's our product, and that's what we're raising funds for. A bit about API 3, a bit about the advantages of this log perpetual. It lowers the liquidation risk by as much as 20%, but that's okay, that's a very custom thing, I won't get into that. This is the landscape right now, this is our product. Revenues. Does anyone know DYDX? What's DYDX exchange? Just 3 of you. But okay, then we have staking, governance, but what's the opportunity here, right? Well, I'm bringing this to you guys, to the WIMDAO, and to everyone here, because I want this to become one of those projects that we talked about, that WIMDAO takes over. So if you were to be an actual participant in the WIMDAO, you will be reaping the profits from this. And in the WIMDAO, we already have all the talents that an entire full-fledged company has, an entire incubator like the one I'm working for. But I'm a mercenary for the company I'm working for right now, and this Infinix project that I'm trying to fundraise from venture capital. We could be doing the exact same thing, but bootstrap it within the DAO. We have all the resources within the DAO to do the exact same work of that company funded by VC. And imagine a token change the way the protocol works to the whims of the WIM DAO and launch it. And this is an example of what our roadmap could be. And what does it mean to bootstrap? It's more of a marketing activity than anything else. It's spreading the voice on social media, attracting the traders, the whales, and have a concentrated period of initial high-level incentives, and then a more prolonged period of decreasing incentive to keep people engaged over time. And that's it. That's my presentation about WIM. So, check. Any questions? Batteries are gonna actually get this going.
Just at least one or two skill sets that are...
One Solidity developer, we sort of have that already. And it's really a marketing effort from here on. And a little bit of engineering to do the integration and to get the contracts deployed. So from the development standpoint, fairly little. It's more of a marketing effort at this point, right? And we have a lot of marketing folks in this room, right?
Perpetual, does it mean it doesn't have an end date? Is that the difference?
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah, the part that I didn't cover, perpetual. What's the difference from perpetual to just a standard future? A standard future is you're betting on a price of an item going up or down, but it has an end date. And it could be the hour or it could be the day. And after that end date ends, that's it, it closes. The artist releases a new album, therefore the price pair will fluctuate over time, and through perpetual futures you could bet that this artist's popularity will go up or down. In your other question?
Yes, thank you. So for me, it's a very interesting concept to monetize this information, but in the case of such information such as rainfall in North Africa,
Yeah.
I have a personal feeling this would trivialize such matters and it would kind of drive not a consumer mind but general population mind into monetizing such ideas.
It could very well happen that way, yes. But we have to take the risk because the benefits far outweigh those potential, the trustless economy, meaning there's no need for a third party's intervention, an arbiter, a judge. As long as the signal integrity is integral and is trusted, of course, because you can always mess with the signal, just like in the stock market.
I see where it could go. I think where it could go, but I'm not sure.
Okay, last question.
One more question? One last question?
You said you had some leverage in the system. Does it mean you also need liquidity providers that they borrow from?
All right, you mentioned liquidity and leverage in the system. You mentioned leverage, does it mean you need liquidity? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense there's leverage in the system, but the leverage in case of perpetual futures, it's provided by the participants, the longs and the shorts. They provide liquidity to each other through the virtual